essentially it's been my goal for many years to put the whole Grand Slam project together. I wanted to re-record songs that basically have been released on YouTube and various other things that were work in progress demos, and I wanted to give the world a proper representation of the songs that I wrote back in the day, and Mike was the guy that was going to be the other side of that. And as he'll tell you, I phoned him up on Christmas Day 4 or 5 years ago and said, let's do this. And now we've moved on, we have the new album, and I've continued writing in a very similar way to the way I've always have done.
The beginning for me was Laurence getting in touch on Christmas Day. It was quite inspiring to get part and parcel of a project which I felt the provenance of it was almost like a burden to me. Phil was somebody who I'd met when I was a kid, the Liverpool Empire, and I always had a great place in my heart for him, but he was definitely somebody who'd influenced me. But I'd trodden the boards and gone my own way since Laurence, when we met, going back in the band called Rhode Island Red. And yeah, it did feel very much unfinished business. I've been around the clock with regards to my career musically, and when Laurence contacted me, it was something which the journey, we ended up going over to Guadeloupe and writing bits and pieces. Laurence has had ideas, and he was bursting at the seams with songs which were so poignant, direction, but needed grand slamifying, if you like. Rocky always adds this gravitas, and Benjy's drums brings things to life. I always hear Benjy's drumming and I can tell exactly what he's playing, even it's musical to me. And I think the special energy that we've got in the band has given the project something, a new, fresher life.
I've known Laurence since 1979, 1980. And we've been playing together on and off since 2011, which I think when we had our first actual band together, which was a band called 𝐣𝐥𝐿. Laurence had obviously been a member of UFO, and I'd been a member of the Michael Schenker group, MSG, and Michael was obviously the guitar player in the classic lineup of UFO. And so we decided to put a band together to go out and play for fun, really, with two other ex-members, Danny Perronel and Clive Edwards, and went out as 𝐥𝐿 and had a lot of fun for a few years doing that. And then that kind of reached its natural end, and we went on to other projects. And then I got a phone call from Laurence and said that there was a vacancy in the bass seat in Grand Slam, and would I like to do it? And I thought about it for about a nanosecond and said, "Oh, go on then, all right." No, I was overjoyed to do it, actually. It was a fantastic project to be involved with. And so ever since then, we've obviously done the new album, and plus the Hit the Ground album, which I wasn't the original bass player on. We've since re-recorded all the bass parts, and that is being released as a sort of special edition, a new remixed version of that, which then more accurately reflects who the band is now, and great for me because I feel a complete part of it now, and so it's all out there with the four of us.
So the whole thing of when I was formulating this idea in my head of who, what, and how, and who were going to be the right people for this project. It's not a project, it's a band, and that's why it was a very important decision to make. Mike was already sort of there on the sidelines anyway, but I had to do a 3G show, and essentially I knew of Benjy through another party, and Benjy I ended up putting a number of Grand Slam songs within this 3G, which is 3 guitar show, and when we did it, it immediately became apparent to me that Benjy was the right guy for the band, and the whole thing clicked, and it just sounded great. I mean, it's just sounded immense from day one. So that's how it happened. But obviously I knew Benjy. I had another band signed to Polydor called Stampede, and we did a couple of shows together when Benjy was in a band called Praying Mantis. But that's the story of how we got the whole thing together, really.
My first, but she had the first.